Hola! Hi guys, we're doing the SX software material interdisciplinary notes. We're on the section of mathematics and conversions, measurements, units, etc. We learned about the traditional system we usually used in America. We learned about the metric system. So you can measure distance, you can measure liquid volume or capacity, and you can measure mass or weight. So right now we're on this on the distance of metric measurements. So metric measurements have a basic unit such as either a meter, a liter, or a gram, depending on what you're measuring. So meter for distance, liter for liquid volume, and grams for mass or weight. Then the prefix in front of the basic unit will tell you how big what you're dealing with. If you have a desa in front of the basic unit, you're dealing with a 0.1 of that unit. A centi is 0.01, milli 0.001, micro is 5 zeros and a 1. And then a deca is the opposite way, so you're going bigger than the basic unit. So 10 times is deca, hecto is 100 times, kilo is 1,000 times, mega 1,000,000 times. Those are the prefixes used in the metric system. We were doing some examples. So for example, if you were asked how many centimeters are in 1 meter, so the meter is larger than the centimeter, so you're gonna have 100 centimeters in 1 meter. And a milligram, you can have 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram, for example, since a milligram is 1,000th of a gram. If someone asks you to compare a centigram to a milligram, you know that there's going to be a 1 decimal point difference between the two. So a centigram is 10 times larger than a milligram. So just in terms of general thinking, you're going to have, since milligram is a smaller unit by 10 times. So what else? So base units, prefixes. A kiloliter has 1,000 liters. A hectoliter has 100 liters. Again, it's the same for meters, grams. So regardless of what you're measuring, the prefix is signifying the same measurement or the same amount or largeness. A kiloliter compared to a hectoliter is the same difference. So it's 10 times difference. So it's like saying the difference between centi and milli. It's 10 times difference. Or deci is centi, or deca and hecto. So a kiloliter is 10 times larger than a hectoliter. Let's see. So micro and mega were the million, in the millions. Okay, micro is small and mega is big. So micrometer compared to millimeter is 3 zeros difference. So milli is 1,000 times different from micro. And same with the difference between kilo and mega. There are 3 zeros or 1,000 times difference between them. Again, decimeter is 1/10 of a meter. Decameter is 10 meters. So deci, smaller, deca is bigger. And deca can be spelled D-E-C-A or D-K-A. It's pronounced deca. Deci, D-E-C-I, is smaller. Let's see. So these are examples. So hecto is 10 times larger than deca. So a decaliter, for example, is 10 times smaller than a hectoliter. If you were comparing, hecto is 10 times larger than deca. Again, so deciliter is 10 times larger than a centiliter, because deciliter is 0.1 of a liter and centi is 0.01 of a liter. So a gram, just the basic unit, obviously, is 10 times larger than a decigram, which is 0.1 of a gram. A centigram is 10 times smaller. A centigram is smaller than a decigram. Decagram, smaller by 10 times than a hectogram. Okay, we're done with all that. Then when you convert from between one and another, so you can move the decimal point in order to convert for metric conversions. So if you're converting from a smaller unit, what did I say? If you're converting to from a basic unit to smaller unit, you move the decimal to the right. So the rule is if it's from if you're converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, the numeral is gonna become go from smaller to larger. So it's the opposite. So if you're converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, the number is going to go larger to smaller, or the numeral. So that's the rule you have to keep in mind. That makes it easy to know which way to move the decimal point, right, left, whatnot. So in metric conversions, that's all you do is you move the decimal point. The number of places you need to, just you have to keep in mind, is the result going to be a bigger number than you started out with, or a smaller number, to know which way to move the decimal point, because you may know how many places to move it, but you're not sure which way to move it. So you keep in mind, if the conversion is from a larger unit to a smaller unit, like from meter to centimeter is larger to smaller, your numeral is going to be going smaller to larger, so the opposite. So the answer is going to be a bigger number. Example, if you have 12.32 meters, you're going to convert to centimeters. So you know you're going to move it. Meters to centimeters is 2 places. So because there's a 1/100th conversion. So you're going from larger units to smaller, so the number will get 2 places bigger. So 1232 is the answer.